You know that moment in the morning when everyone else softens their coffee somehow? Sugar, milk, vanilla syrup, something to make it easier, smoother, more comforting. And then there's you. You just want it black. No sweetness, no extras, no unnecessary comfort. Most people assume it's just a taste preference, but psychology suggests it can reflect something deeper. Black coffee isn't just about flavor. It can reveal how you relate to discomfort, how you manage energy, and how much emotional noise your mind is carrying before the day even begins. It's about instinct, preparation, and how you meet the world before the world meets you. Psychologists have long noted that small, repeated habits reveal more about a person than dramatic choices ever could. Habits aren't magical, but the things you do daily without thinking usually come from somewhere honest: your nervous system, personality, coping style, and emotional defaults. Morning rituals are especially revealing because they happen before the world fully reaches you, before notifications, demands, emails, social obligations, and the weight of other people's expectations. They show the version of you that exists in quiet moments, the version not shaped by the day yet. If your first instinct is to reach for something bitter, strong, and plain, that says something. It doesn't automatically mean you're mysterious or emotionally unavailable. One of the strongest patterns behind black coffee drinkers is a preference for cognitive simplicity. Some minds naturally get overwhelmed by too much input, too many choices, too much sweetness before they're fully awake. When your internal world already feels crowded, you crave things that feel clean, direct, and uncomplicated. Black coffee fits that perfectly. It's straightforward, no customization menu, no deciding which version of comfort you want, just coffee. For certain personalities, that simplicity is almost therapeutic. If your mind is already processing a lot, you stop wanting extra layers in the foreground. What might look like intensity is often just your brain reducing friction. You don't want life harder, you just don't want it louder than it already is. Black coffee often appeals to people who are already mentally active before breakfast, not always in a dramatic overthinking sense, but in a quiet, constant awareness. Your mind wakes up and immediately starts scanning what needs to be done today, what's unresolved, what emotional energy you'll need, what version of yourself the world expects. You want stimulation, but not chaos. You want clarity. That's where the habit becomes psychological, not just dietary. People who prefer black coffee often tolerate emotional intensity better, not because they enjoy pain, but because they're familiar with heaviness, endurance, and functioning even under pressure. Over time, this changes your relationship with comfort. Most people assume we naturally want softness, soft mornings, soft emotions, soft edges, but those who carry difficult things internally often stop needing it where society expects. Bitter stops feeling uncomfortable. It feels normal, familiar even. Sometimes your preferences quietly mirror your emotional history. Black coffee feels recognizable, strong, slightly harsh, reliable, and unapologetically itself. Many aren't drawn to bitterness itself, but to honesty. No performance, no charm, no asking to be liked. Just showing up as it is. Psychologically, that resonates with people tired of overly polished, performative, or fake interactions. It's a quiet form of self-validation. The world doesn't need to approve of this because it's already authentic. Some quietly develop a low tolerance for unnecessary emotional decoration, not because they're cold, but because life has taught them substance matters. Black coffee becomes a tiny reflection of that desire for authenticity and directness. It's a small daily ritual that communicates, "I face things as they are," without sugarcoating. Daily habits also symbolize identity. Black coffee attracts those who see themselves as self-sufficient, disciplined, independent, emotionally contained. It reinforces identity. I can handle intensity. I don't need life dressed up. I take it as it comes. Sometimes this is genuine confidence. Sometimes it's emotional armor. Many strong habits carry both meanings. It's not just what you drank, it's who you are, reflected in liquid form. On the surface, drinking black coffee is functional. Get up, work, handle things, keep moving. But inwardly, it often reflects navigating sharp emotional environments. Black coffee mirrors that tone. Human behaviors often seem like simple preferences, but are really negotiations between personality, stress, memory, and self-image. Black coffee is simple on the surface, complex underneath. Not everyone who drinks black coffee is processing existential dread at 7 a.m. Some simply enjoy the taste, but even taste is shaped by psychology. Research shows personality traits influence preference for stronger or more intense sensory experiences. Some people are naturally open to intensity, not just in food or drinks, but in thought, art, emotion, and life. Black coffee fits that perfectly. It grows on you. Depth and subtlety become more rewarding than instant comfort. Many people use external stimulation to regulate internal states, noise to avoid silence, people to avoid stillness, entertainment to avoid thought, sweetness to soften edges. None of that makes them weak, it's a coping style. People drawn to black coffee tolerate a kind of emotional plainness, a kind of inner stillness. They may not enjoy it, but they can sit with it, and that's significant. Being able to sit with your mind, especially first thing in the morning, is psychologically important. Many cannot. The second they wake, they need notifications, scrolling, conversation, anything to fill space. If your ideal morning is silence and a dark cup of coffee, your personality doesn't fear inner space. One of the clearest markers of emotional maturity isn't charm or social fluidity, it's the ability to be with yourself without trying to escape. Black coffee becomes symbolic, quiet tolerance, willingness to meet the day without sugarcoating it. If that feels familiar, you're not imagining it. But there's a shadow side. Over-identifying with strength, simplicity, and self-containment can romanticize emotional hardness, mistaking distance for clarity, suppression for discipline, bitterness for depth. While tolerating life without softening is admirable, humans still need warmth, rest, care, and gentleness, even if we don't ask for it. If this resonates, it doesn't mean you're emotionally guarded forever. It doesn't mean your mind is too much. It may simply mean your internal world is more textured than people realize. You may value honesty over appearance, substance over stimulation, clarity over comfort. In a world packaged sweeter, easier, louder, that's rare. The psychology of black coffee isn't about bitterness, it's about what you've learned to live with, what you've stopped needing decorated, and what your mind naturally reaches for before social expectation starts. Tiny rituals reveal the version of you that exists before replying, adapting, or performing. That first instinct says more about your emotional life than any personality test. If black coffee is part of your identity, notice why, not to overanalyze, but to understand what it reflects. Paying attention to small patterns shows how much of your personality has been whispering to you for years. Understanding one small habit can change how you understand yourself entirely. So the next time you pour that cup, pay attention. What does it tell you about your mental state, your tolerance for intensity, your preference for honesty over charm, your ability to sit quietly with yourself? Small habits like this can reveal more than a lifetime of introspection sometimes. If this resonated, subscribe for more deep dives into everyday psychology. Comment below if your first cup is black and share what your morning ritual reflects about you. Like and hit the bell. The next video will uncover more habits you didn't realize reveal who you are. And remember, Every small ritual tells a story about the person you are before the world tries to tell you who to be.